In the world's greatest country, in its most pivotal state, lies Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley, an economic hub that's as vibrant as it is ideologically eclectic. Its just over 700,000 residents will play a critical role in deciding the course of American leadership and thereby the world. Who are the thinkers, workers, and leaders that will decide our collective fate? Join me, Moshe Kurtz, as I walk through the valley and find out. Thank you, my friends, for joining me today as I walk through the valley with Dr. Carol D. Birks, the Superintendent and CEO of the Allentown School District. Dr. Birks, it is so wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm delighted.
Yes, and in my capacity, I'm so glad and grateful to you for giving me the opportunity to serve on your Interfaith Council for the school district. And my wife Marissa works for it, so we've been following your leadership for a long time, and I'm very excited about this. And I know that your mantra has been lighting the way. That's been your motto, and that's been your guiding principle in your leadership capacity here in the Allentown School District. So I think it definitely evokes a very lovely image of lighting the way. Can you explain to me what that means in the abstract, and then also how do you see lighting the way manifesting itself in your leadership principles?
So, and thank you again for allowing me to be a guest on your show. I'm truly honored and grateful. And so, I believe in strengths-based leadership as well as servant leadership. And as an organization, we are really tapping into the unique strengths of everyone within our learning community. And given the beliefs that I've grown up with as a Christian, I believe in everyone has a light, and helping them to find the light within so that they can use their lights to inspire, to encourage, and to empower others. So despite what faith you are, I believe that everyone has a light. And so as an organization, every individual within our district, we're looking to them to use their lights to inspire hope within our children, themselves, belief, encouragement, so that we can continue to move our district forward.
I love that idea. Right. So it's about empowering the many individuals that are working under your staff and in the school district to be able to bring their best talents to serve the student body.
Yes, as well as the collective community.
And the collective community. So that's very good. And we're going to get to that soon, which is, the school district obviously is a huge operation, but it's not separate. It's part of a broader communal ecosystem. So I'm sure we'll get into that soon. But Dr. Birks, I'd love to learn a little bit more about you. Before it was Dr. Carol D. Birks, Superintendent CEO, there was a 10-year-old Carol. Yes. And I'd love to learn a little bit more about her. Did you always imagine as a child that one day you'd become a superintendent of a school district? Was that always what you had your mind set on?
Well, no.
I guess most kids, but what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, quite honestly, of course, as you know, I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, a community that's very similar to Allentown. It's an urban district. Mm-hmm. And so I was one of my mother's father's 4 children, but the collective 6 children, because my father was married twice, so my mother was the second wife. And growing up, I always wanted to become an attorney. And I may have mentioned this to you or even publicly. My mother was a domestic worker. She didn't graduate from high school, neither did my father. He ended up going to the military. He served in the Korean conflict, became a mechanic. And my mother cleaned the houses of Jewish attorneys. Oh. yes. So I went lots of bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs and all kinds of great things happening.
So you know the culture.
Yes. And we cleaned our houses and Passover and all these things. We were
Passover is a really tough time of year.
Yes. So we did a lot. So with that said, I wanted to become an attorney because I was able to talk with them, and the attorneys poured into my life and their families. And then I decided after I have a degree in political science, believe it or not,
I believe it.
and I was a paralegal prior to being an educator, so I wasn't in education my entire career, and I was doing some collective things throughout the community, and lots of volunteerism, and I found myself most happy when I was volunteering with young people. And so I decided to quit my job, and it was at that time was paying me quite well. And I went back to graduate school, and then fast forward, I was able to serve in all levels of education, and you name it. From I was a teacher, I served for-profit, nonprofit, higher ed, and here I am today.
Wow. So the Bridgeport school district there that you're working at, you mentioned is similar to Allentown in the sense that it was an inner city school district?
Yes. So I grew up in. So I worked in Bridgeport, but I also worked in other urban centers as well throughout Connecticut, and served as an executive coach and a consultant to districts around the country.
That's really important. And as we know, and I'm sure our listeners know as well, the unfortunate reality for many inner city school districts is that they've been economically disadvantaged. You could correct me if I'm mistaken, but the setup seems to be that school districts pull from taxpayer dollars, but if the taxpayers don't have that many dollars to give, then it puts the school district in a challenging position to figure out how to allocate those things. But what I found really inspiring about what you're doing is that you're being creative in creating community partnerships, looking beyond your immediate resources. So for instance, I'd love for you to tell us about partnerships that you've managed to cultivate with Verizon, with Google. Tell me how you're bringing in these community partners who are not automatically connected to the school district had you not gone about creating those partnerships.
Sure. So I want to make sure I honor our local partners as well first.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. I would say I appreciate them and all our higher ed and nonprofit partners. I won't name them because then I'm going to get in trouble.
I totally feel it, Dr. Birks. You know, I have a bit of a smaller constituency. If you may, then you have. But I mean, I get this all the time. I was doing a lunch and learn the other day, and we had some nice women from the synagogue who prepared the bagels, cream cheese and lox, and the traditional Jewish foods. And I gave a shout out to like two of them, and they're like, "Oh, but you forgot so and so over there." I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Yes. So it's I totally get it. I get scared once I start giving shout outs. It's like the 10 people who feel good about it is not worth the offset of the one person that you forget. It's not worth it.
Exactly. So again, I honor all our local and their commitment to the Allentown School District and to me personally. And so, but we were able to build some really amazing partnerships with some national partners. We are part of Digital Promise, and I am a part of the National Advisory Board for the League of Innovative Schools, which is a subsection of the Digital Promise. And also, as a part of being a part of Digital Promise, we have been afforded with an amazing opportunity to be a part of the Verizon Innovative Learning Schools. And so all of our secondary schools, meaning our middle schools and our high schools, are all Verizon Innovative Learning Schools.
Wow.
And what that entails is that Verizon provides each student a device. So within our strategic plan, Lighting the Way, a blueprint for innovation and excellence 2030, one of the actions within that strategic plan is to provide 2-to-1 devices for our students so that they have a device at home and they have a device in school. So thank you to our friends, Digital Promise and Verizon Innovative Learning Schools, that we are providing that for all of our secondary school students. In addition to that, they're giving us funding to help support, to offset some of the costs for some of the staffing at those schools, as well as providing our technology team with stipends in order to ensure that we have the devices that are working and distributed, and providing professional learning to our staff and taking them to conferences. So it's a really great partnership worth more than $20 million between in-kind and actual dollars given to the district.
And I think that's really important because you and your team that works with you, you guys are looking beyond the immediate resources that are provided to you. You're thinking of creative ways to benefit the kids who come to Allentown School District. So I love that.
Yes.
I am curious. I know that technology and artificial intelligence is something that you've spoken a lot about. Yes. And I mean, frankly, anyone in education these days needs to contend with it, which is, so how are you balancing, on the one hand, the bringing the technological fluency into the classroom, like you just talked about, with the necessary guardrails. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I'm not going to put the exact names and ages of my kids on the podcast. It's a public podcast, but we have younger kids, and I always am trying to be cognizant of limiting screen time. I think there are benefits. We turn on PBS, they can watch, Danny Tiger or one of these fun educational shows, and I think there's a great benefit to it. But at the same time, we don't want them to become, TikTok addicted. I mean, I'm not exposing my kids to social media yet. So what's your philosophy? How do you go about teaching the necessary technological fluency, but also ensuring that we don't have addiction and the challenges that come along the way with it?
So I don't have all the answers to that just yet.
and I appreciate your honesty, because I think nobody does. And the fact that you're willing to say that, by the way, I very much appreciate.
Yes.
If someone comes along and says, I have all the answers, that's when I start worrying.
Yes. So, but as an organization, we have an innovation task force. So it's comprised of course, our internal stakeholders, as well as our higher ed partners, as well as our health partners. And so we are looking at the best practices in AI and innovation. And so as a district, we established our policy very early on, our thinking about AI. We can attribute much of our success to our friends at Google for Education, and so much so that the University of Pennsylvania has now written us into $1 million grant that sponsored by Google for Education. And as a result of that, we will really solidify our practices. We were able to, early last year, we were able to receive funding, a grant from Google to really expose our staff to AI, to kind of demystify, AI. And so they were able to provide it with some tools to create greater efficiencies in their work. And as a result of our relationship with Digital Promise, again, we are piloting various programs or applications, and one is called Course Mojo, in which our students, the aim is to personalize learning for our students. So we have our 6th grade teachers, our 6th grade language arts teachers, and I'm a little biased because I was a 6th grade language arts teacher. We are piloting across the district Course Mojo, and students are receiving real-time feedback through the application, so their teachers were able to give them instant feedback on their writing.
Amazing.
Students seem to love it. I've gone to witness the program in action, as well as we had a presentation here in the boardroom so that our board could see actually what students are learning, and how we're using this tool. And, I had an opportunity last fall to take a trip to Shanghai.
Really?
To look at education. I paid for it myself.
I believe. No, I just meant it's really cool.
Yes. So with that said, I learned a great deal from that experience because, like you said, they limit the amount of screen time that students are able to be on technology. Believe that all the technology happening, in China, people think, they're so advanced. Yeah. But they limit the screen time in their schools so that students, there's such great research that still supports writing something down on a piece of paper, having a notebook. That left brain, right brain thinking is better for long-term sustainability of learning for students. And as a result of that, my chief academic officer, I have a deputy superintendent who's chief academic officer, we've been talking about how do we build in these guardrails so that we bring us back to some of the basic fundamentals of writing, because everything's typed. And I always say to my team, come in my office with a notebook and a pen. Everyone's got their laptop. And what I'm seeing, and no disrespect to my team, but I'm a teacher at heart, that the transfer of knowledge, it's not at 100% because they didn't write it down.
Yeah, and I appreciate. I was very excited. You had a recent piece in the Morning Call, and one thing I noticed is that there were several studies that you cited throughout the article, and what I appreciate is the data-driven nature of the decisions that you're making. And just to stay on the science part for just a little bit longer, we went on a family outing recently to the Da Vinci Science Center, which is now in Center City, Allentown. There's this nice little exhibit right when you come come in where there's all these pictures floating around. You can put your picture up there, and I see my daughter's picture after we put it on there is coming down the screen, and then all of a sudden I see someone I recognize. I'm like, wait, that's the superintendent over there. That's Dr. Birks.
Still up there.
So I mean, but but you've been working in a more substantive manner to build partnerships with Da Vinci, right?
Yes, we're really excited about our partnership with the Da Vinci Science Center. We have a unique partnership with Da Vinci in which our students, we established in partnership with the Central Elementary STREAM Academy, Science, Technology, Reading, Engineering, Arts, and Math.
Ooh, that's good.
So, yes. And so students take their basically their general education courses on their main campus, which is their school, the Central Elementary School, and then they're taking their minor at Da Vinci Science Center. So students are immersed in hands-on learning and exploration. They're doing lots of discovery, and it's so exciting in the exposure that they're receiving of the exhibits and the real-world applications. So in addition to our partnership with the STREAM Academy with Da Vinci, we also have an internship opportunities with students within the sciences that we partner with Da Vinci and other partners throughout the Valley, because we want students to be exposed to their environment and all the great things that are happening within the Lehigh Valley, so they can have exposure to careers and prepare for life beyond high school.
That's amazing. And the fact that you're giving them those kind of opportunities. And I love how that you're balancing, on the one hand, exposing them to the STEM, to the technology and all that entails, at the same time going back to basics with the notepad writing. And also, I mean, tell me if this already happened. Last I was listening in, you guys were planning putting these book vending machines into the schools. Did that come to fruition?
Yes.
Oh, tell us about that. I love the idea of a book vending machine. How does it work?
So, well, we're focusing as an organization on the whole child. So, of course, we teach reading, math, social studies, all those great things, but also teaching students, about what we call their affective developmental skill sets. We're trying to build their sense of identity, values, culture, and being proud of who they are. And so this is project with the book vending machines twofold. One, of course, we want to promote literacy, which is a major driver in our district continuous improvement work, but we also want to create students who are good citizens. And so if students do great things at their schools, they get tokens as part of our PBIS and promoting social and emotional wellness. And when they receive these tokens, instead of getting a soda or pop or wherever you're from, whatever you call it.
I call it soda.
Yes.
I just try to stay away from it.
Yes. So you're able to put a token inside the book vending machine and you receive a book. And students are thrilled about this.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're
I love that, because then the reading it's not an imposition, it's a reward.
Yes.
It's something that I want to do.
Yes.
And so like you're saying, it's not just simply that they read the book and they get the knowledge from the book, but you're cultivating within them a desire and a value system that it's a privilege to be able to immerse yourself in the literary world.
Yes.
I love that. I want to get one of these installed at the synagogue now.
Yes,
this sounds
you should.
We should like get these like all over the Valley area.
Yes.
I love it. Now, at the same time, you're working in an inner city school district. There are challenges, and I think you're meeting those challenges from everything that we're discussing, though many of the children might come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. They come into the classrooms with emotional baggage, and obviously the school district is not going to address everything in everyone's personal lives. That's not what they're meant to do. But how are the teachers and how are the leadership addressing the kind of kids that are coming in and helping them when they come into the school district?
Well, I think right now in public education, despite where you're from, there are lots of challenges. Lots of challenges in America right now. Yes, lots of stressors, things happening. And as an organization, we're building on the assets of our children. So we don't see it as, they're disadvantaged.
Yeah.
So we all are disadvantaged in some way or something.
Yeah.
But as an organization, we are focusing on students' wellness and overall we've taken a whole child development approach. And so we are arming our social workers and our counselors and even teachers with skills to help address some of the things that our students face. As an organization, when I started, we had one school social worker, and now we have, I think it's like 30 some odd of them.
Wow.
So maybe more. And so we've increased that number. My team gave me, I think, by 400%. Yes.
That's quite a figure right there.
Yes.
But it's necessary.
But it's necessary to help not only just the student, but also the family unit. And as an organization, this is why we've established many partnerships with our Interfaith Council, as well as our Family Advisory Council. We offer on-demand tutoring, mental health services. We offer tutoring as well, but we offer on-demand mental health services for families, so they can just call up a therapist, if you will, if they need some supports, as well as we're providing professional learning to our counselors and our social workers and even our safety team, so that they can be armed with tools. And so as an organization, there is a focus on whole child development, and we've established our whole child framework. And we have a mental health task force of providers throughout the community that we rely on them and enlist their support to support our schools. We have a student assistance process in which we case manage students and their families to give them support. And so there are lots of things happening that we are really trying to address those needs. Of course, we have partners that donate food and clothes and all those great things, so to really support the entire family unit.
I think that's so important because it's a paradigm shift in what education is. Education, one could think, is just about transmitting information from teacher to student. And, at the heart of it, we are instilling knowledge and skills into next generation. But I like what you're looking at. You're looking at the students and even the family units holistically. And, if kids are not going to be taken care of, and if their mental health is just left on the side, their education is also going to suffer. Sure. So I love the fact that you're taking a bit of a broader perspective as to what a school district and what education could look like. So you're busy doing all these amazing things for the kids at the Allentown School District. I imagine free time is not a concept that you know of, but on the very rare occasion that you want to wind down a little bit and do something that's not directly related to the school district, what do you do with the little smidgen of free time recreationally?
So, my faith is very important to me. So I make sure that I'm going to church, even if it's not in person, online, so that I can become fortified and filled in supporting my whole wellness as well. Yeah. So, because I'm not just the leader all the time. I'm a human being first. Yeah. I also love the arts. So when I can, I go to plays and theater in New York City. I love fashion. I don't like shopping, believe it or not. I like little boutiques and such. So I love fashion. This is my art. And I love antiques. So whenever I can, I'll go to antique shops. I enjoy reading. And I know it may sound like work, but my civic involvement is very personal to me. I'm involved in 2 international sisterhoods. I am an officer in those organizations. So many times on the weekends, I'll still go to Connecticut, and I'm very involved in these organizations because I'm an officer. And we have mentoring programs for young people. We raise lots of money for scholarships and for other nonprofits for their causes. And that drives me. So I go to meetings, I get to dress up and talk to these fantastic women, and we promote charities. We love to give back to communities, and I'm thrilled by it.
That's really great. And, that actually brings us full circle, because I remember you mentioned that before coming to Allentown, you were in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And the fact that you've kept up those ties with your people in Connecticut, and you just didn't simply move on to the next stage and forget about them, you're still giving back to them, and hopefully helping other women who want to rise up in the ranks as well. So you're kind of giving some of your time to mentoring the next generation. I think that's fantastic. So, how long have you been here in the Lehigh Valley for now?
So I arrived in October 30th, 2022.
2022.
As acting superintendent.
As acting superintendent. And so you've been here for a few years now. So, the Lehigh Valley, what is something that you love about the Lehigh Valley after spending a few years living here? And, what's something that you'd love to see more of in the Lehigh Valley that maybe we don't have quite yet?
So I love the people. I think people have been very welcoming to me. Within the Lehigh Valley, there's a very close net. Everyone knows everyone, which I think is very, very nice. I love the parks. So I love walking and running. I don't get to do it as much. And I love exercise. I didn't say that, but the past few months, you couldn't tell. But I do like the outdoors.
Which park do you go to?
So, well, over Cedar Beach, over in that park. And I really enjoy just the relationships that I'm building here in the Lehigh Valley. I mean, people have been very welcoming and very warm. And there are lots of traditions here.
Yeah?
Lots of traditions. People tell me about all these things that have been going on for a very long time. And so even the alumni here within the district, there are people. Last Sunday, I went to Deer's, to see Chicago. It was sensational, right? At Deer High School performed Chicago, this teen edition. And
Good clarification.
Yes. But the number of alumni that were there, and people were telling me all these stories about the Valley. They were like in their 80s, and it was amazing to me. And I see that very often. People want to tell me about the history, the trails, and the mountains, and everything else in this community. And people seem to love it, and I love that about this community.
I feel that as well. I am, you're in this conversation. You're the veteran, and I'm the newcomer. I came here more recently than you did, and that's something also. Someone coming. I came from New York via Connecticut and then to Allentown. And there's all these traditions like lights in the parkway that we have in Allentown during the winter, and love how they got that back up and running after what occurred. And, I'm just trying to keep my mind open and learning about the unique traditions here as well. So for a final question, you could address this either on a personal level or in your capacity as Superintendent CEO of the Allentown School District. We have the 250th anniversary of the United States of America right around the corner. It's every time I say this on an interview, it just inches closer and closer and closer. And reflecting on the 250th anniversary, I'd love to know, what does that mean to you?
So I think, as superintendent, I'll say that, and CEO for the Allentown School District, I see the 250th anniversary as more than just a celebration of our past, but I see it as a strategic opportunity to inspire excellence, to foster a sense of community pride. When I hear people talk about the 250 year, I mean, you have to hear Senator Miller. He's all in. He's like, the Liberty Bell, this and that. He's so excited about it. So, and also to reaffirm the district's commitment to preparing every student to be a global citizen and to be proud to be an American.
I love that. And can I ask you, we're going to get a quick little promotion over here. There's something really exciting coming up. It's going to be a few days after the episode goes live. I believe the Allentown School District is going to be having its first annual Serve Day on Friday, May 15th, 2026. It's going to be joining with the Interfaith Council, the Family Council as well. Tell us about it. What do we have to look forward to?
We are so thrilled that we will have our first Serve Day. I have an Interfaith Advisory Council, and you're on it. So
yes,
thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Part of it.
Thank you.
And so when we have about 50 faith leaders from all faiths, which is so exciting, who are part of this council, they serve as advisors to me. And so I also have a Family Advisory Council. And so both groups are joining together, and their followers, congregants, parishioners, so people, and we're coming together of a day of service to our schools. And so there's going to be many activities happening, including some people will read to students, some will serve as guest speakers, some beautification projects, and we need that.
I saw some painting going on, yes.
Painting happening, some planting of flowers. And so we are really thrilled about this opportunity. And if anyone who's listening, if you are interested in participating, you're welcome to email us, superintendent@allentownsd.org. If you want to be involved, we want to show our collective community and our learning community particularly that there is a large community that's with them who wants to see the students succeed, as well as their families and the staff, of course. I want to give a special acknowledgement for all the staff who work for the Allentown School District. I really appreciate you. I'm nothing without you, but we're really thrilled that our Interfaith Council, our Family Council, and some of our nonprofit partners are coming together, and I don't know, maybe one of our for-profit partners as well, and we're coming together, and we're going to serve the entire Allentown School District. I am so happy about this. I'm like, yes! And it wasn't my idea. That's why I love it the most. This came out of this was a brainchild of the Interfaith Council. They said, we want to do more. What can we do? Some of the faiths and faith leaders, their congregants have come together and adopted our schools. So they're very actively involved. They're sending home food and clothes and doing all these great things and reading within our schools. They're volunteering. Last year, there was a large delegation of people at our Back to School Bash, and that's coming up August 12th. So if you want to be involved in the Back to School Bash, please email us. And we had more than 9,000 people participate last year, and you are welcome to join us in that endeavor. We give out free food and all kinds of things and resources. So come on down to Cedar Beach Park for that. And so we're excited about Serve Day. May 15th, all are welcome. 8:30, Bridgeview, and then we will have transportation to all of our schools throughout the district.
I love it. I love the idea both in terms of the substance and the symbolism as well, that the entire community is coming together, and that seems to have been very much part of your philosophy, continuing as the Superintendent and CEO of the Allentown School District. Dr. Carol D. Birks, thank you for your time, and I appreciate you joining me as I walk through the Valley.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me as I walk through the Valley. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to rate and subscribe to our show. If you have questions or would like to book a live recording or have a speaking request, please email rabbi@sonsofisrael.net. This is Moshe Kurtz. I look forward to having you join me next time as I walk through the Valley.